Okay, we are now joined in studio by our second place finisher here in the women's race of the Dragon's Back Ascent, Summer Allen from Utah, 46 minutes, 4 seconds, joined by
special guest
with another special guest.
This is Rocklyn.
Rocklyn. Proud of mom for sure. How are you feeling after an awesome VK today?
Pretty good. Do I need to put this closer?
Yeah,
okay.
Rocklyn will get in there too.
I actually like my lungs. I can definitely feel it in my lungs a bit, but honestly, like I was just out there having fun. It was a blast, and I don't feel too bad because I got to hot tub and I took a short nap, and here we are. So
we met each other at UTMB. Obviously, your husband Christian was doing OCC, and he's obviously had a great season as well. So maybe just introduce yourself a little bit more to the audience, because you had an awesome race today, and I'm sure myself and many other people would love to learn.
Okay, so yeah, my name's Summer Allen. I was born and raised in Utah. I've always loved the mountains. My family all runs, so I came from just a family of running. We own a running store that is along the Wasatch Front. It's in Orem, called Runner's Corner. And let's see, what else?
Do you race often?
Well,
just getting back into running is what it sounds like.
Yeah. So I do, but usually it's kind of like a last minute thing, like, oh, hey, like Christian's doing a race. And then it's like, oh, they have this race. Do you want to do it? And then I just say, oh, yeah, that sounds fun. And so then he signs me up or something. So that's usually how it goes. But I actually do love the trail scene. I love the running community, but especially the trail community is super fun. And I was a collegiate runner. That's how Christian and I met. So we met running at Weber State University, and I met him going into my junior year. We got married going into my senior year, and right after we got married, well, like a month after we got married, I found out that I was pregnant with our first child. So we had a honeymoon baby. So that was when Miles came along. So then I got an extra year of eligibility, and I just felt like I wasn't done yet, but didn't know how it was going to work out. And so I don't know how to, it worked out better than I could have possibly imagined. And at the time I was like, I feel like I have unfinished business running, but I don't know how this is going to work out. And Christian, he's always been a strength and inspiration for me. And he just said, you just need to have a little faith and things are going to work out. And it was crazy how things just kind of lined up. And I ended up being able to do some really cool things after Miles was born. And then I had a few like reps reach out to my coach to see if I wanted to run professionally. And when I was nearing the end of my eligibility, and I just said I wanted to have another baby first. And so we had another one. And when he was 6.5 months old, that was Boston, I got pregnant with her. So that was a really big surprise.
3 in a row. Yeah.
Yes. But I've always wanted a lot of kids, but I feel like you can do both. And so, it's like a lot harder now. I'm not nearly as competitive as I once was, but it was fun to show up today with just literally no expectations and go into it. And like, I was literally just out there having a blast and enjoying the views. And then somebody near the top said I was in second, and I was like totally shocked. And I was like, are you serious? Anyways, that was a fun surprise. So I know it's not quite as deep as like the men's race was today, but it was still fun just to be out there and like feel competitive.
Oh, we're figuring out childcare for Broken Arrow next year.
There we go.
We'll figure it out. I'll commentate and babysit. We'll do whatever it takes to get you in that VK.
Sweet.
I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear just like the practical realities of, obviously you guys travel and compete sort of like as a family. You said that Christian is obviously like racing at a very high level right now, and you just sort of jump into races as it feels appropriate. But it's great to kind of share that as a unit. Probably, again, your whole family was in Europe just last month too. Say a few words about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's not what most people would call the ideal setup for professional running because there is a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that is, unplanned for, and it's difficult, but it's also super rewarding. Like, I don't know how to describe, like, I feel like you only know how awesome and rewarding parenting is once you step into that role. And it's terrifying, but it's awesome at the same time. But we both just have this passion for running. And so we just figure out how to make it work. And yeah, I'd say the hardest part is probably the travel and then just kind of the logistics of the day to day. Like, when's Christian going to get his run in? And then am I going to get a run in? Like, it's a really good week for me if I hit 30 miles.
Wow.
But we do what we can. And I feel like there is some strength that comes with just being a mom and, lugging, like, I'm carrying my 2-year-old and my 8-month-old up the stairs frequently, like at the same time. Or I don't lift weights right now. That would be nice. I used to be really pretty dedicated with my strength training. And right now it's all just carrying kids upstairs or squatting down, holding one kid and balancing on one leg. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just different, and there are a lot of things that, like, I feel like I could do better at, but I just haven't quite figured out or nailed yet. Like, my recovery could, arguably be much better. I always, like, aim for foam rolling after running, and it happens, like, maybe 2% of the time. So, I don't know, just things happen. As soon as I step through the door, it's like, "Mom, look at this, mom." Like, I'm
Dylan's
being
taking notes right now. He's like,
Yes,
"This
I-
sounds
yeah.
exactly
I
like
have a
my life."
2-year-old boy. Yeah.
Oh, it's
My life
great.
is absolute chaos. Having
And that's one. That's one
yeah,
2-year-old.
that's one.
It is. It's like it just gets more chaotic, but also more fun.
Yeah.
So, and it's really cute to see the kids interact. Like, I wouldn't do it any other way. So, yeah.
Amazing.
I guess obviously you guys are here racing this weekend, racing as a unit, generally speaking. What's next for the whole Allen family?
That's a good question. What's next?
You guys have had a busy year.
Yeah, we have had a busy year. Rockland has some things to say. I'm not sure how to translate that, but yeah, Christian is doing the 26K on Sunday.
You had a
And
great race last weekend.
oh
Was
yeah.
the whole family there in Marin last
No,
weekend?
no.
Oh.
So that was kind of one, like, we were still recovering from coming back from Europe, and I was like, how about you just go out? Like, he found some cheap flights, and I didn't want to do a 14-hour drive with the kids.
Yeah.
So we did it was an 8.5-hour drive yesterday, but you have to stop. And so we were in the car for over 10 hours. And that was just what we did.
Just
but
the perfect warm up for the VK.
yeah, it was great. We got to our Airbnb super late last night, got a few hours of sleep, and luckily Christian's parents, they came out, so they've been helping us with the kids this trip, which has been like super nice because it takes some pressure off of both of us. But yeah, as far as like what's coming up next, Christian's doing the 26K, and then after that, we actually were doing a race in Arkansas, so like the dirt circus 10K.
Yeah.
So I need to figure out how to like dial in some better training for that, because I haven't really I'm maybe not the best at planning ahead right now. So we'll figure out how to switch over to like some 10K training. And then Christian wants to do a marathon. He's just not sure which one yet. And yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's always fun. It's kind of more of like a spontaneous thing for me, and he does a little bit more planning ahead, but it can also be spontaneous for him. And we just say, "Hey, let's go on this trip," and we just figure out the details and we go. So
Oh,
it's fun.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say he was our rookie of the year pick, I think,
Right.
last
Yep.
year. And now it's like we're gonna have to watch out for the whole Allen family.
That's right.
Well, I kind of liked being like an underdog, and maybe don't say too much because
We won't
Yeah,
tell,
here
we
you are on
won't
the
tell
Mountain
too
Outpost
many
YouTube
people about
channel.
you.
You're instantly famous. Come on. Before we let you go, just talk us through the race today. How did it play out? How'd you feel? What did it feel like to break the tape in second place?
Okay, yeah. So let's see. The race was about to start. I was still doing strides or at least trying to. I was like, oh, maybe I should do some strides. I got there like really late. That's usually what happens. Something happens, and she woke up before I left, and I was like, oh, I better feed her one more time, put her back down, and try to get her to sleep. So I showed up like right before they closed bib pickup. And yeah, I was doing some strides, and I took off my jacket like 30 seconds before the start. Oh, there we go. That's so cute. And yeah, let's see. The gun went
Just
off.
hit
I
the
was kind of
gas,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, probably like 15 feet or so back from the start, and got a little slow start and realized that I probably shouldn't have started that far back. So I spent the first like mile and a half just kind of picking people off, trying to pass people. And it's really hard to do on a single track, but I didn't like do a course preview or anything. So I had no idea. So that was a little bit challenging. And I was kicking myself, like even in the first like quarter mile, like I knew I started out too slow and too far back. So I'll change things if, I come back next year, which I would like to, because this course was beautiful.
Yeah.
The rest of the race, I was really just kind of like looking around, enjoying the view. It was super fun. And then you get to the summit, and it was just fun, like being up there. And the wind was insane. It gets like
Yeah, it
super
gets
cold
windy.
all of a sudden. And I was not cold at all until I got to like the top of the first summit. And then I could see the finish line, and I was really happy that it was close by. Anyways, yeah, it was just fun. I had no clue what place I was in, and somebody like just over 2 miles into the race told me that I was a second place female, and I wasn't sure if I should believe that or not,
Yeah.
but it sounded legitimate, so I was like, sweet. I just kept gunning for it, and yeah, I got to the top, and my husband and 2 boys were there, and that was awesome.
That's so rad.
This is the best. This
So-
is
Really the best sport in the world.
It was super fun. Actually, the energy at the race, like especially the finish line, was just like super awesome.
Yeah.
So, and saw a couple people that I actually knew, which was fun. Like the trail and the running world is just so small, which is like so fun.
Well,
So,
congratulations. It sounds like Rockland's probably ready to go do something more entertaining. But
Yes.
it's so great to get to know you a little bit here.
Thank
Summer.
you.
Congratulations on your second place performance, and good luck, I guess, managing the 3 kids while Christian goes to battle on Sunday. And we'll be cheering for him too.
thank you. Thanks
Big
so
round of
much for having
applause.
me.
Summer Allen, second place.